So let's go back then. Danville, California. You grew up playing ball sports, and you got a skateboard at some point, and that changed everything, right?
Yeah.
What was the introduction? What was the year? Who got you the skateboard? And what was the...
There's a lot going on there, because I actually remember the day where my life changed. And I think that's kind of funny that I know the day that it changed. But I played, soccer, baseball, football, played all that. And I think... how did it go down? So one of the biggest inspirations to me was a guy that lived in my neighborhood that had motorcycles and skateboards and surfboards. His name's Jimmy Olsen. And so Danville, you got to understand, there's probably the way surfing is now. It's like, what is it, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Santa Cruz. It's 45 minutes to an hour away from Ocean Beach, maybe even longer. It's a landlocked town. And in the 70s and 80s, when I grew up there was Jimmy Olsen was like the one surfer from there. I'm sure there's surfers now,
yeah.
But he was like the one guy, and he lived on my street, and he was the typical the atypical cool California kid, long blonde hair. He raced like XR 75s and 125s. He had motorcycles. He had Toyota Tonka trucks, with the big tires, and he surfed. And he was like the epitome of cool, And I was like 4 or 5 years younger than him, watching him and just obsessed with what he's doing. But I was playing like baseball and all this stuff. And so he's the one that got me kind of into skateboarding and surfing, and huge inspiration. But it wasn't till I couldn't really surf till I started driving.
Of course, yeah.
So, but he was there. So he was somebody that I really looked up to, and I don't know what it is, but I had this real thing about individuals at a young age, and I don't know if it's my dad or my mom, but because they always told me not to follow people, just be your own person, and blah blah blah. And I had this admiration of the individual, the person that can stand on its own. And I kind of saw that in like Jimmy Olsen, like he's doing these things that he's just one person. He's not on a team. He's riding motorcycles, he's skateboarding, he's surfing. And I thought that was really unique. And then this is kind of you can edit this, right? It's just a long story, but
yeah, or not.
But
I can leave it in.
Yeah, it's like my life changed. Like I remember I was kind of into, so this is probably late 70s. Vans were starting to become a thing a little bit, but they weren't really a thing in Danville. It's landlocked town. And I somehow got onto Vans. I just loved Vans. And this kid moved to this kid moved to Danville from Washington, and we became friends. He's on the football team, on my football team. And he goes, "Hey, I want to get some new clothes, like, and some shoes. My mom gave me money for shoes, and it's so different back then. Like a kid from Washington dresses so different from a kid from Danville, California. Now it's kind of all similar, but he kind of wanted to fit in, right? So he picked the wrong guy to go shopping with. But I went downtown with him, and we went to the store, and it was the first time I saw checkerboards on the sole. And I was like, holy shit, man, this is the coolest thing ever. If I had money, I would buy these. Like, I'm so jealous, but this is the shit. This is what you need to get. And he's like, really? So he bought these Vans. And I never saw him wear them, right? And he bought those Vans, whatever. And then we had our last football game of the year, and I had ordered, my mom was really into helping me. You could order Vans back then, any color you wanted, So my mom was like, she'd help me get on, it's not even a website, but I don't even know how we'd figure it out. You fill out a form.
Sure.
And they just started making checkerboard on the fabric. And I saw it in the catalog or whatever. That is so cool. You can get checkerboard. So I ordered these special order Vans, that actually had checkerboard,
Yeah.
that you see everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited about these shoes, and we had our football game, and I remember coming out of the locker, we all took showers and stuff, and I'm putting on my new Vans. I'm so stoked, And I walk out of the locker room, and all the cool guys in the football team were lined up, and they're all laughing at me and making fun of my shoes and like pointing at me and stuff. And I was looking at them, I was like, fuck, like, you know, and I just wanted to walk away. You know, you're getting made fun of by the whole team, you know, and all I could do is look at this guy that has a pair of checkerboard Vans in his closet. And I'm like, motherfucker, like you didn't even have the balls to wear that. And I suddenly got a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, none of you guys can stand on your own. You're all part of a crew. You all lean on each other for something. And like, none of you are individuals. None of you can stand on your own. Fuck you guys.
Interesting.
And
because it could have broken you, you know, rather than fortify you.
yeah, I mean, I was being made, it was one of those things. I'm like, I wanted to bail. Like, I mean, when you're 12 years old and the whole football team's making fun of you, you know, I was just like, I didn't want to be there, but I was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. And that changed everything. I got a skateboard. I already kind of dabbled in skateboarding, but I think through Jimmy, that guy on my street, got a skateboard, started listening to punk rock, cut my hair, and that was it. Quit all quit all the ball sports.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a full rebellion. You know, instantly I was at odds with parents, teachers. You know, I'd wear shirts that say jock on them and with a big cross through it, you know, and I'd get beat up by jocks, you know, like skating around town, and carload of jocks would pull up and beat me up and stuff. But you're asking for it, you know, it's just like that age. And so that really, I look back on that now more than ever. I realized that was a real turning point in my life of where I was going to go with everything, like what I valued in people and what I valued as far as something to do with myself, you know, like I just didn't find anything attractive about ball sports after that. And of course there's nothing wrong with those sports, but and that just sent me on this whole trajectory where my life just took a turn right there. And yeah, it's probably the biggest turning point in my life, I think, was that.